But can they just be a civil organization that does things properly? They won't. With all tools at their disposal, like marching and raise your voices and all of that, why do you promote anarchy when you can march, raise your voice, and do all of that? Why do you want to stop people from going to work on that day? Interfere on the rights of others which are enshrined in the Constitution, that tomorrow I must not come from Lutulia House because EFF has closed the roads. Am I against what they are fighting for and their right to march? No, we're not. Including calling for the president to resign, which is a gimmick, we have listened to over time. They can do that. They've got all the right to do that. But when you threaten violence, and say that buses must close the streets, taxis must do all of those, you're threatening violence in a democratic country. Why do you threaten violence? There was no war here. DA marched. They had their march and everything. There was no war. The Youth League was here. Nothing. Nobody was destabilized from going to work, not from going to work. On the rights of others which are enshrined in the Constitution, that tomorrow I must not come from Lutulia House because EFF has closed the roads. Am I against what they are fighting for and their right to march? No, we're not. Including calling for the president to resign, which is a gimmick, we have listened to over time. They can do that. They've got all the right to do that. But when you threaten violence, and say that buses must close the streets, taxis must do all of those, you are threatening violence in a democratic country. Why do you threaten violence? There was no war here. DA marched. They had their march and everything. There was no war. The Youth League was here. Nothing. Nobody was destabilized from going to work, not from going to work and all of that, close the streets. That did not happen. So we are, yes, in a loose partnership with the EFF on various metros. We engage with them. To us, EFF is not equal to the DA. So we work with them. And sometimes it is the deputy president who is the deputy president of the ANC who becomes the deputy president of the country. When that happens, the president will announce it, that it has happened. So, deputy president has not resigned. When you resign, and then we fill that vacancy and all of that, we will let you know. Are we dealing with matters related to government deployment? Yes, we are. We come from a conference. We've got to reflect on those issues, including possibility to reshuffle or whatever reason, because you've got vacancies in government and so on. We have gone back to this approach, which we implemented in the early 90s, of spokespersons, and the national spokesperson being Comrade Mahlengi Peru, and supported by the two comrades. Of course, our approach to communication means everyone can speak, but one person at a time. We're not going to allow Casey and Jojo type of a situation where everybody, when there is a crisis, they speak their mind. We don't have time for independence in the ANC. People must understand when the ANC speaks, what does it say? Unambiguous, and understand the position of the ANC. So, one message, many voices will be our approach, but we will minimize the anarchy you have seen in the past years, where NEC members speak on one item with different voices and not even reinforcing the message of the African National Congress. As part of due organizational governance in accordance with acceptable organizational protocols, the NEC adopted a delegation of authority authorizing the SG and the TSGs to institute and defend legal action by or against the African National Congress. Special focus was also given to the effect of coalition governance, particularly in local government, to which end the NEC adopted and sharpened the ideologically based principles and the strategic framework for local government coalitions to better manage coalitions. This will be enhanced by the soon-to-be adopted monitoring and evaluation framework and capabilities. This will also be enhanced by building a stronger alliance with the South African Communist Party, Congress of South African Trade Unions, and the South African National Civic Organization, which is critical to the advancement of the National Democratic Revolution. Consequently, the Lekgotla called for the urgent convening of the proposed Alliance Economic and Energy Summit. The Lekgotla also noted that in addressing its challenges, South Africa should and can build on global solidarity. To that end, the Lekgotla encouraged ANC members and leaders to better capacitate themselves in understanding global dynamics. In building a just and equitable world, the NEC acknowledged the increasing significance that BRICS partnership is playing in the global political economy, and therefore agreed that BRICS must be expanded, among others, to enhance its role as a counter-hegemonic bloc. South Africa must clearly define its desired objectives and strengthen the new development bank. The Lekgotla also directed government to work closer with BRICS nations to solve the energy crisis. Consequently, given that South Africa will this year host the BRICS summit, Lekgotla requested that the summit pay special attention to energy security. Further, Lekgotla called on the Global North to implement more just financing mechanisms outside loans to enable Global South to generate, manage, and distribute energy. The Lekgotla requested the Secretary General's office to develop a strategic partnership and solidarity positions which will, among others, strengthen relations with former liberation movements, strengthen South-to-South relations, enhance development solutions with a focus on economic and cultural diplomacy, and strengthening the role of South Africa as the AU infrastructure champion. The Lekgotla also encouraged government to advocate for the ending of sanctions in Zimbabwe, turn around the situation in Eswatini, and the removal of Morocco as a member of the African Union. Thank you very much.